Hi everybody, hope you're all having a really good day so far. I have another video to present to you guys. These are the tools that I'll be talking about, and they happen to be all purchased from a store called Ehime Machine, an online store. Items I purchased before I went to Japan late last year in October, equivalent to US dollar $180 or so. Um, well, 180 because I have a couple items that are missing from this collection. It was a wrench and a socket, so I'm just gonna say $180 roughly. So why don't I start off with these parallel pin punches. These were packaged in this vinyl pouch, sized in metric, brand called Tone or Tone. Um, Not much, no description at all. Somehow the flip axis is from the back, which I find is kind of useless. Because wouldn't you rather want to know what size you're pulling out? Because the sizing is on the front. A bit of a quibble there, but I don't think I'll be using the pouch. I think I'm just going to make my own custom tool holder. So, as you might be able to tell, these are chrome plated, which is a bit unusual. Wouldn't say they're the only companies that are doing this, but polished chrome plated ones is not very common. Whoa, pardon me. So these are comfort grip. However, they're not rubberized. They're hard plastic, which appears to be more than likely friction fit. So we'll see how long they last, or they may be adhered to the actual parallel pin punch themselves. I don't use these on a day-to-day basis. However, I have used this guy here. I just wanted to see how durable the chrome plated finish would be against repeated beatings. So I have beat this guy deliberately to see if I can get the chrome to chip, but so far so good. It's taken that beating quite well. Even on this side, I drove through a hole that was undersized. But yeah, so far so good. The stampings are printed. They'll probably wear off with some use. However, the size is molded onto the actual plastic. In the event that all rubs off. Comes with a date stamp, interestingly enough, and the part number. Pardon me for the focus, which wants to just focus on its own. Yeah, what else can I say about this? Oh yeah, I thought the hexagonal shape would be an anti-roll feature, but not the case whatsoever. They roll readily. So there you go. Fairly common set. They're not extra long, they're not short. Fairly standard set in a sort of with a grip handle, which I find does make a difference. It does provide, that additional grip when you're pounding against your whatever material you're pounding. It does offer a little bit more of a control over your gripped punch. So let me just set that aside. Bring this guy in forward. Why don't I talk about these automatic wire strippers from a brand called Mary. They are based in Osaka, Japan. Made in Japan. Yeah, these are. Let's just flip the back side here. As you can see there it's also mentioned on the product itself, the patent or patent pending. That includes Japan, US, not California, Canada, Australia, Korean Republic, and Japan. Actually, the product card also mentions Australia, Germany, France, Great Britain, and Italy, which somehow is missing from the actual product itself. Interesting. As for the product itself, there's a little bit more description here in English. The cutting blade, or the stripping blade, and the cutting blades back here are both replaceable with those part numbers. So fully serviceable product right here, which is not an uncommon thing coming from a brand like this, which is also a professional grade level automatic wire stripper. This one happens to be branded Greenlee. However, the OEM is a Swedish company by the name of Pressmaster. They are a huge supplier, OEM supplier for various European manufacturers, brands, and even probably North American big names as well. Well, Greenlee for one in this instance. So I've been using this for probably like 10 years or so. It's done a very fine job of stripping wires over the years. However, I just noticed with smaller gauge wiring, I basically am not able to get a consistent result. So I decided to look into either replacing the cartridge, which is replaceable, and also the fact that I wanted something with a slightly more compact footprint. So they do offer a pistol grip format, sort of like these guys. But I decided to go with, getting this one because I've been eyeing this one for some years, and so I am impressed. I'm happy with the product so far. It's done a pretty fine job of tackling a few jobs at work. It does a very, very good job of cutting wires in the back here. Very clean cut. Let me just compare it with my Pressmaster, which happens to have a cutter back here, down here. So I cut that, which doesn't feel as smooth as the Mary one. A bit not quite square, but in any case, I find that the jaws here being V or U-shaped, it does a pretty fine job of stripping the wire sheathing very cleanly and without removing any stranded cables. I don't think there's any in there. Yeah. The depth is adjustable. It's not numbered, but you can see the graduations there, 5 mil all the way to 20. Scaled on both sides, so that that knurled thumb wheel allows you to adjust the depth. If I can get it to focus. Focus is not working. Yeah, this construction compared to this one, this is really lightweight, good for mobile mechanic in the tool bag composite material, as opposed to this, which is pretty much 100% metal. More specifically, it is aluminum body, die-cast aluminum, except for this portion here, which is stamped steel. The rest is all aluminum except for, you know, the important stuff for the cutting, tool steel. So yeah, this guy's a good performer so far. Happy with it. All right, let's move on to how about these Koken nut grip sockets. As you might be already familiar with these guys, this is a 1/4" drive set from 7 to 14. Not all inclusive, but you know, the regular JS stuff, JS sizes. If you don't have a set, yeah, highly suggested. One of those tools you wish you had. Let me just compare it with this TrueCraft. What is this? A gimmick? A copy? Actually, it isn't. It is actually made by Koken. The date code is 1993 July, so this is a vintage one. I've had this for a little over 10 years. A workhorse because it's a 10 mil, a size that is used very often. I thought it was just an interesting comparison, just the size of it, the size difference as far as height goes, comparing it to, you know, a current day production from 2019 compared to something that came out, you know, from the 90s. So as you can see, either I'm probably going to say that Koken decided to manufacture 1/4" drive sockets with a shallower overall height. Probably just a trend thing. Having said that, I do like the fact that these 10 mils, or like for example in an 11 mil, which I use a lot for doing re of intake manifolds for the nuts. I want that extra depth, which I won't get with these shallower ones to deal with the nut on the stud. So that is that. Let's move on to some SEK items here. SEK, also known as Suikage tools. Probably a lot of you guys watching this in Australia are familiar with that name. SEK has been a company that's been around for many decades. Maybe kind of like Koken, where they decided to go overseas and export their products. And Australia was one such place, including North America. So this product here, as far as I'm aware, is probably not made in Japan. Also reflected by the price. The overall construction itself is nothing amazing. Kind of a cheapy feel. Price wise, I think it was it was, yeah, 1,674 yen. So that's just slightly under $15 US. Comes with that shading. Comes with a micro serration on one blade, smooth on the other. Gives you a little area for cutting probably things like rope. It does give you an area back here for cutting wire, and I guess it's for opening maybe bottles. And it does have this facet here for cutting through probably cardboard boxes or whatnot. Interesting thing here is that the blade is both curved. Might be better to show it to you this way. Has a curvature on both sides, and that is supposed to aid in you know, preventing the material that you're cutting from being pressed away or pushed away from the cutting edges. So, you know, sort of like a household scissors that might be handy in the kitchen drawer or you know, home toolbox. pardon me. Let's move on to this guy here from Pro-Auto, also a brand within SEK. SEK has Seikage tool. So SEK branded stuff tends to be made in Japan, like they were many years ago. However, they also have a lineup called Pro-Auto, and these are primarily, probably almost all of them, all imported from places like probably primarily Taiwan rather than China. You probably find this rebranded in other names, but I just like the fact that you got a flexible pickup tool with a very small fine point magnet for getting into those nooks and crannies in the engine bay, or dash work, interior work. That's that. Let's move on to another SEK or Pro-Auto branded product. This is a 3/8 drive ratchet. This is a little, not really even a product card, but a little sticker that came with the tool itself. So the part number for this one, wow, the focus is going crazy. Sorry for that. So this one is MHR3 is the product number. Yeah, MHR3 is right there. 3/8 drive, really compact head. I bought a 1/4" drive one last year, and it really blew my mind almost. How compact these are. They like to compare it with their previous version. Their previous version that they offered was 27.2 millimeter in width. The new one is this version here, the Smart Head they call it, is 22.5. It's hard to visualize this without a comparison, but I'll do another comparison video in a future date, including brands from Nepros, Koken, and even Mac, and I'll do a comparison that way. Anyhow, this is a 72 tooth. The cool thing is that it comes with a built-in sort of like a thumb wheel or quick spinner built into it. It is quick release for if that matters to you guys. Yeah, so far I have not seen this ratchet head or this head style being offered by any other brand. So even though it's been out for at least a year now. Well, that covers this episode. I hope that was informative, something useful. If you guys have any questions, do let me know in the comments section. And you guys have a good day.